go until they voted on, of all things, the minutes. So, but we'll get started now.
Yeah, we get started and we could table anything that requires a vote.
Okay.
Hopefully, Lisa
Okay.
Searle will come.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the Audit Committee to order, please. And are there any public speakers?
Yes, Chair. We have two members of the public registered to speak today. As a reminder, we ask that all public speakers adhere to the MTA's rules of conduct and decorum. I would also like to remind our public speakers that in the interest of time and fairness to all speakers, we limit everyone to 2 minutes. Please be aware that there will be a warning beep to remind you that you have 30 seconds to conclude your remarks. The first speaker will be Mr. X, followed by Christopher Greif.
Regarding audits, when an MTA employee fails to do his or her job, does he or she get an audit? That's what I'd like to know. I'd like you to, mention that. If you could mention that later today, someone would appreciate it, because the MTA itself has several audits. Nothing has changed within the MTA. Years ago, a previous state comptroller noticed the MTA, which stands for money thrown away, saved over $500 in revenue, and yet the fare and toll increase prices had to increase. Well, if you saved over $500 in revenue, then there was no reason to increase those prices. No one mentioned what happened, where the money came from. You need to tell the truth about your finances, how much money you have in your budget. That's it.
Thank you for your remarks. Our last speaker will be Christopher Greif.
Good afternoon. I'm Christopher D. Greif. And since we've been doing, I see in a lot of audits, and I was really pleased to see last month Carmelo Ora talking about accessibility and hiring more people with not just disabilities, but any type of disability. And I'm glad to see that. And I hope to see more of that will come into the future. I'm here to support this 100%, because a lot of us out there have a lot of people who have skills, may have a disability, not just medical, but physically as well. So I just want to be here to put on the record that I am supporting it as president of the ADA Transportation Group, because our mission is to the future accessibility rise with us all. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks, and this concludes our public speakers.
And I'd like to personally thank the speakers for coming forward for their comments. Okay. Because we don't have a quorum, we will table the approval of the prior audit committee minutes until the next meeting. Monica, are there any changes to the work plan?
No changes, Chair.
Kostas Makrakis from Deloitte is here to present the results of their review of the MTA consolidated financial statements for the second quarter of 2025. Kostas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon to everyone. My name is Kostas Makrakis, and I am the Deloitte MTA Lead Client Service Managing Director. Together with me on my right is the Audit Senior Manager, Komal Chola, and remotely are Patricia Zurita, Mike Tartaglia, and Anuj Sharma, also Audit Senior Managers. My first remarks today are for the review of MTA's interim financial statements as of and for the 6 months period ending June 30, 2025. For a brief status, we received the financial statements and provided our comments to management, which were addressed. We are currently in the process of completing the remaining review procedures to issue a review report. We expect to do so in the coming weeks. A review of interim financial information primarily consists of analytical procedures and making inquiries of those responsible for financial and accounting matters. A review is substantially less in scope than an audit. The objective of an audit is to express an audit opinion on the financial information. Accordingly, we do not express any opinion after a review. However, based on the review procedures performed at this time, we are not aware of any material modifications that should be made to the interim consolidated financial statements in order for them to be in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles in the U.S. And that, Chairman, conclude my remarks for the review of the quarterly financial statements.
Okay, thank you, Kostas. Are there any questions? Hearing none, because we don't have a quorum, we will recommend the second quarter 2025 consolidated financial statements to the full board for approval on Wednesday. Now we go on. Now for the appointment of external auditors. This is the fourth year of this external auditor contract between the MTA and Deloitte, awarded in October 2022. As part of the reappointment process, the committee requires the auditor to present to the committee the results of the most recent inspection of the firm that was conducted by the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board, or PCAOB. We have a copy of the 2024 report that was issued in February 2025, and Kostas will briefly explain the content. Kostas?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the Public Company Account Oversight Board is a non-profit corporation that was created by Congress to oversee the audits of U.S. listed public companies. The term public refers to companies that their stock is traded on the stock exchange and not within the context of government public service companies. Deloitte is registered with the PCAOB and perform audits of companies that their stock is registered with the SEC. Therefore, the PCAOB is required to inspect the audit working papers prepared by Deloitte in support of selected audits. The PCAOB, as the chairman mentioned, has published our 2024 inspection report in February of 2025, which covers inspections of 63 issuers with fiscal years generally ending in 2023. Findings included in our 2024 inspection report were identified in 9 of the inspected issuer audits. That represents 40% of total population. And this deficiency rate compares to 21% and 17% for the 2 previous years' inspection reports. Overall, we have consistently the lower inspection finding rate, both for a 5-year period between 2020 and 2024, and for the single year of 2024 as compared to other big accounting firms like PwC, KPMG, and Ernst & Young. We are proud of our culture of quality as evidenced by our strong PCAOB inspection results. We attribute this long-term success to our award-winning technology, tailored processes and risk targeting, and the technical acumen of our professionals. On a personal note, I was subject to a PCAOB inspection 2 times in my career with no comments or findings. Deloitte professionals are also expected to act with integrity in accordance with high ethical standards. Deloitte participates in the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants peer review program, which requires independent evaluation every 3 years of those portions of a firm's accounting and audit practice. In 2023, Grant Thornton completed the most triennial peer review of Deloitte's system of quality control, and issued a report with a peer review rating of pass, which is the highest rating. In addition to PCOB and peer review, a partner also is required to go through a Deloitte internal inspection at least once every 4 years. A Deloitte internal inspection team selects one audit engagement to assess whether the audit was in compliance. The ratings are compliant, compliant improvement needed, and non-compliant. The latest internal inspection I went through was in June 2024. I'm very pleased to say that I received the highest rating, that is compliant. In addition to all this inspection, there is what we call independence inspection, where one of our audit engagements selected with a focus review of independence compliance. And I'm currently going through one, and as of today, still compliant. I think that concludes whatever we have around inspection and finding. And should I mention the meetings with AC chair now or independence later? Maybe later. Okay, thank you.
So can I get a motion to reappoint Deloitte as the MTA's independent auditor? Mr. Hurst? Hurst? I guess. Okay. Oh, well, great. Okay, we'll move on. I'm now going to continue with Deloitte. Kostas will tell us about their audit approach to the 2025 year-end audits of MTA's financial statement and that of its agencies. Kostas will also discuss any new or proposed changes in the accounting principles, regulations, or financial reporting practices and their impact to the financial statements. Back to you, Kostas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, dear committee members, we're extremely proud of our long-standing relationship with the authority as the leading public transportation authority in the U.S. and the high talent team of Deloitte professionals dedicated to serving your organization. Professionals with deep knowledge of your business, how your team operates, and your organizational culture. We are pleased to present an overview of our plan to serve the authority. For the second consecutive year, I will be the Deloitte Lead Client Service Managing Director for the 2025 MTA audits. For the third consecutive year, we will use our cutting-edge technology audit platform, Omnia, to transform your audit experience to be smarter, more efficient, and more focused. Significant risk and areas of focus. By default, in all audits, not only for the MTA audit, professional standards requires an auditor to presume two significant risks due to fraud. The first is management override of controls, and the second is revenue recognition. We have rebutted the revenue recognition, and we only have a significant risk of management override of controls. Other areas of audit focus are investments, capital assets, including construction work in progress, debt, including debt covenants compliance, pension and other post-employment benefits, and liability from injuries to persons, revenues, both operating and non-operating, operating expenses, and going concern. The going concern principle is an accounting principle that assumes that the authority will continue to operate and meet its financial obligations for the foreseeable future, to be more specific, 12 months from December 31st, 2025. There are governmental auditing standards to be adopted in current year. There is GASB 102 with certain risk disclosures. We are actively collaborating with the authority to adopt this new standard. Our goal is to finalize the content of risk disclosures, both within the MD&A and across the financial statements for the MTA and its agencies by year end. We are confident that by taking this proactive approach, the authority will successfully and timely implement the new standard. On page 5 of the document that Monica Berry shared through email last week is the Deloitte leadership's team serving MTA. For the 2025 audits, we will use the following specialist resources: IT specialist, actuarial specialist, and data analytics specialists to assist in performing procedures around journal entry and cycle-based testing. The audit engagement team selected to serve the authority represents a balance of local and national resources and industry experts. Overall, we strive to bring a familiar face emphasizing the importance of continuity to enhance delivery of insights gained from the audit and the overall efficiency of our services. As in previous years, and in alignment with requirements set by the authority and outlined in our engagement letter, we will engage, utilize minority-owned, women-owned, and service-disabled veteran-owned CPA firms as subcontractors for the 2025 MTA audits. In accordance with Deloitte policy, all work performed by the minority firm personnel will be reviewed directly by a Deloitte senior and/or manager. On page 10 is outlined our responsibility, which is to perform an audit in accordance with generally accepted standards in the US and the generally accepted governmental auditing standards as issued by the Comptroller General of the US and the Audit Agency of the US Congress Government Accountability Office. We will plan and perform our audit to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements are free of material misstatements in accordance with generally accepted auditing and accounting standards. Materiality is the amount we use as our basis for planning the scope of our audit and of the authority's financial statements. We do not plan to adopt the control reliance strategy in the performance of our audits and of the financial statements. We do not plan to rely on the work of internal audit in direct capacity. We obviously work closely with the internal audit function, but we will not decrease our testing sample size by relying on audit work performed by the authority's internal audit department. In Appendix A, there is a more detailed analysis of our significant risk and the planned audit responses and the areas and the key areas of our audits. The timeline. September, October, November, we are in the phase of establishing the audit scope plan in terms of the engagement. In October, November, and December, we perform interim audit procedures related to the financial statements. And from January to May, we perform final audit procedures related to the financial statements. In May and June, we perform the single audit procedures. And from May through July, we communicate with the audit committee regarding the results of the audit, review constructive suggestions with management and the audit committee. We meet with the audit committee chair, either in private or in meetings such as this one, and we can always meet with the audit committee upon request outside the scheduled meetings dates in January, May, July, and October. With regards to independence, we have Appendix C that details our independence policy and procedures. In addition to the attest services my team performs for the MTA, Deloitte also provides the MTA with energy consulting services. This consists of fuel supply management support, electricity supply management support, and clean fuel electric vehicles technology support. The contract of this service is a consulting multi-service agreement awarded in 2020 and runs up to May 2026. Estimated fees are $500,000. In October 2025, Deloitte Consulting proposed to perform an agreed-upon procedure engagement on a one-time a targeted energy efficiency audit for Metro North facilities heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system for a fixed fee of $60,000. The above two mentioned work went through several layers of review of Deloitte and was deemed to be permissible, non-independence impairing work under both AACPA and Government Accountability Office rule sets. Also, the MTA accounting department has a subscription service with the Deloitte Accounting Research Tool covering the period from August 2025 to August 2028 for $1,960. The subscription allows the MTA accounting department to have access to technical accounting literature. Again, this service is allowable both under AICPA and Government Accountability Office. The reports, we're going to issue about 20 reports. The first is the TBTA operating surplus agreed upon procedure in February 2026. In May 2026, we'll issue the financial statements of the MTA, the consolidated, and each of the agencies. Then in May of 2026, we'll issue agreed upon procedures for Long Island, Metro North, MTA Bus, Transit, and Sirtoa with regards to FTA National Transit Database Federal Funding Allocation Statistics. We'll issue an MTA Investment Compliance Report in May 2026. The single audits for federal awards and state transportation assistance programs in July, and then the data collection form and MTA Inspector General's agreed upon procedure report in July 2026. As a technical update, GASB issued Statement 104, and this disclosure of certain capital assets. This statement requires certain types of capital assets to be disclosed separately in the capital asset notes required by Statement 34. I think that concludes my remarks for the audit service plan.
Thank you, Kostas. Any questions of Kostas at this juncture? Okay, hearing none. Now for the Audit Committee Charter. For the record, the committee has been provided with a copy of the charter so that they may review and assess the adequacy of the Audit Committee Charter. Committee members were asked to provide any comments or recommendations to revise the charter prior to this meeting, and no such recommendations were received. Therefore, based on our review, the committee recommends no changes to the charter at this time. Next, we have Lamont Kears, the MTA chief. Oh, sorry, what did I do?
I just have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No problem,
I was
Mr.
shocked.
Chairman. There's a question. How often as a committee, do we review the charter?
So we review it annually?
Annually, okay.
Annually.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. You shocked me. I'm sort of on a roll here. Okay, next, Lamont, the MTA Chief Compliance Officer, who will give a brief update on the implementation status of prior audit recommendations. Lamont?
Thank you. The presentation is in your book. I'm not going to actually put it on the screen. I'll just talk about it very quickly. As you know, this committee required or requested that corporate compliance monitor the implementation of remediation plans across the MTA. I'm here to tell you there's some good news today. The rate at which these remediation plans are being closed quarter over quarter has increased, which I think is very good news. Some other good news, depending on what seat you're sitting in, the rate of opening has also increased quarter over quarter. Thank you very much, Monica. But overall, the total number of remediation plans closed last quarter compared to open, more closed than open, which is overall good news. The agencies and departments continue to work through them. As of right now, there are only 30 remediation plans across the entire MTA that has exceeded the 6-month period that are significant. So that's my presentation. If there are any questions, I'd be more than happy to take them.
Any questions? I would like to say that this committee's one significant role among others, is going over how well the management letters are being followed by the agency. So it is a critical part of other institutions. I've talked to Costas about some of my experiences. So, but are there any other questions of Lamont and what we're doing? Okay, hearing none. We go on to, next we have a draft report that covers the activities of the Audit Committee during the 12-month ended July 31st, 2025. A draft of this report was distributed for your review and comments last week. Any questions or suggestions? If not, we're going to submit our report to the board. Thank you. Now, pursuant to the Section 105I of the New York State Public Officers Law, the Audit Committee will go into executive session. We need a motion and a second to go into an executive session. Mr. Hurst? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. The committee will now go into executive session.
I think we're gonna go
Okay.
to the
We are No, not yet. You can't. Not yet.
Trying to help you.
Yo, thank you. The Audit Committee received a briefing during the executive session from MTA IT on the security of sensitive data in accordance with New York State Public Officers Law. Now, Mr.
May
Hertman,
I make a motion to adjourn?
is there a second? Thank you very much. We're adjourned.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay?
I gave you the document to sign. Would you mind
Oh, I'm
signing
sorry.
it? No, it's okay.
I didn't
No, no,
didn't
no, I
focus.
understand.